Sponsored in part by Wormsway.com, hydroponics and organics, indoor and outdoor gardening. Garden anywhere, garden anytime. Stores conveniently located in Tampa, Florida, Erlanger, Kentucky, St. Louis, Missouri, Bloomington, Indiana, Sutton, Massachusetts, Nashville, Tennessee, and always at Wormsway.com. Welcome to Growing Indoors. I'm Joy Baird. Well, it's time to get the grow room set up. Now, based on where you're going to have the grow room and the type of materials you're going to build it with, whether you've purchased a grow tent for your grow room or not, that's totally up to you and your finances. So we've just picked the side of the room here to where we're going to have our grow room. Now, we've got our plants here. They're coming up quite nicely, so we're going to move those out of the way and we'll get those planted next week. All right, we're going to turn these off and we're going to talk about how to set up your grow room. Now, there's many different ways to set up your grow room based on where your grow room's at. Whether you have a tent grow room, pop-up tent that you grow in, or as we have, using the side of an open room. Now, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind about this. One being where you want to have air circulation. If you have a pop-up tent, there's certain air circulation applications you can use. Here we're just going to have a fan that will circulate the air, and that'll one, detour or lessen the opportunity for insects as well as the sticky pads that we will hang up. As secondly, it will help pollination when things start blooming. We're talking about the light here. Let's talk about the light for a moment. This is the Pioneer 6. We've shown it in previous episodes. When hanging your light, you have to see what you got before you hang it. Chains do not come with this light. So you want to measure and know how much footage you need for the chains. And don't skimp on the chains. You've spent a lot of money and a good investment in this light. You don't want to buy the cheapest chain you can find to hang it from your ceiling. Now, we've got eye hooks that we've found the rafters in the ceiling, and we've screwed those into the rafters. And then based on the way our house is built, we have a protrusion of the walls. So that's why you see the way the chains are hung a certain way, and then they're screwed into the wall so we can get a vertical, perfectly level light here. Now, when buying the chains, you want to again measure how much you need. You can go to your local big box store, or as we did with your local hardware store. Chains again don't come with the lights. Fortunately for us, the young man at the hardware store was uneducated in how to use a tape measure properly and gave us 12-footed chain instead of 10-footed chain, which worked out in our favor because we did need the additional 2 foot of chain. You can take and hook these up however you would like. We've got a chain with a little kind of a screwy hook here. Works real well, and we can adjust the height as the plants grow. Now, it's going to come with styrofoam plugs inside the light, so the lights don't bang together in shipment. You got to remove that, and the only way you can remove that is simply unscrewing each bulb very gently and removing that styrofoam that's between them, that's actually encased into the row. Now, with this light, this is not a shelf. Don't put anything on it. Don't tempt yourself to anything. Warranty won't cover it. There is some heat that comes off this light when it's in operation. Also, anything you put on here is going to weaken the supports on the sides, and your light's going to end up collapsing on you. And the warranty doesn't cover that. So it's not a shelf. Don't use it as a shelf. We've got our coconut core set up here in our nursery pots, as well as our nursery pots and our smart pots. So here's our hydroponics farm here. We'll get that all hooked up and going next week. As well as we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 containers here, 5-gallon containers with the hydroponic farm, as well as I did add an additional container. And this is just a little small flower pot that I had that we're going to use for radishes. Simply being, the radishes will take 25 to 33 days. We can harvest them and get this out of the way. Now, with a grow room, we understand this is very tightly compacted, and I'm aware of that. But whenever you do turn the lights on, the lights shine on everything. But as the plants grow and develop, the light will move up and will maneuver some of these plants around to add adequate airflow and circulation to these plants. Now, because we are working outside of a grow tent, we wanted to put some kind of protection between the carpet and underneath our containers. So we used the backside of an old tablecloth. Now, by no means will we ever get to the point, and you shouldn't in this application, of watering these containers so much that the water is flowing out of the bottom. Coconut coir is a very absorbent material, and it doesn't require you to flood it. And again, we talked about this 2 weeks ago in our very first episode, that overwatering coconut coir can introduce it's an invitation for unnecessary bugs in your grow room. So you want to be cautious about that. And we'll go over that more in future episodes. So we have a upside down tablecloth here. We've got our we've got our smart pots and our nursery pots. Another thing you need to have whenever you're getting a grow light set up is, in our application here, is a timer. Now we have this timer available already. It has a on-off time. You can set it for example, 18 hours on, 6 hours off, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Now you can pick this up at your local hardware store. You can buy it online, however you wish to go about. I've also included this into a power bar for two main reasons. One, because this is an older model. Two, because of this power bar, it has a surge protector in it. And this light here is an investment. I don't want a surge to go in there and potentially destroy or damage some of the electronics into this light. So that was one of the reasons why I went with that type of setup there. So it's really simple to get your grow room set up and to start growing indoors all winter long and all year round. I'm Joy Baird, and this has been Growing Indoors. For more organic gardening and food preserving, visit the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.